Hello friends, now I'll be reading a special dictation on the topic of Indian Defense Program in 5 seconds. Begin. Indian Armed Forces are the military forces of the Republic of India. It consists of 4 professional uniformed services: the Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force, and Indian Coast Guard. Additionally, the Indian Armed Forces are supported by several paramilitary organizations and various inter-service institutions such as the Strategic Forces Command. The President of India is the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces. The Indian Armed Forces are under the management of the Ministry of Defense, which is led by the Union Cabinet Minister of Defense, with strength of over 1.5 million active personnel. It is world's second largest military force and the largest standing volunteer army in the world. India has quite a volatile neighborhood. To our north, we have China, a very big military power with whom we keep on having altercations, not to mention the war of 1962. We still have many border issues with them, and their troops keep on infiltrating our land. Then there is Pakistan, a country born out of India but still trying to take one or more parts of it under control. We have had a number of wars with them. In the recent years, terrorism has become a grave concern for India. Owing to all these wars in the past, the recent infiltrations, terrorist attacks, border altercations, and standoffs, it is easy to imagine why India needs a strong military strategy to combat these problems and survive as a nation. Speaking of stats, India is now one of the world's biggest spenders on defense and the world's largest importer of military equipment and munitions. Adjusted for purchasing power parity, India was the world's 9th biggest spender on defense in 2012, according to the World Bank. It spends a full 2.5% of its GDP on the military, a tad higher than the world's total of 2.4%, though lower than America's 3.8% of GDP. Yet, unlike the US, most European nations, or even China, India does not have a thriving domestic defense industry of its own. The tendency to import weapons, military aircrafts, ships, and other hardware from abroad is worrying. However, India has a land frontier of 15,200 km, a coastline of 7,516.6 km, and an exclusive economic zone of 2.2 million square km, as well as island territories, vital offshore installations, and airspace to defend. The Indian forces therefore have to be kept prepared and well equipped to repel any external threat. One can easily understand that Indian military depends heavily on foreign products. India hence needs to revamp how its defense sector operates. Though the country basks in the glory of Kargil and thumps its chest over an occasional successful missile test, defense development and production remains a joke in India. The list of failures and shocking delays in the country's defense sector is long. The cloak of secrecy under which country's defense sector research and development in defense operates causes even greater concern about inefficiencies, waste, questionable priorities, and failed or delayed projects in the public is not yet aware of. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley's maiden budget does address issues relating to the defense sector. A key budget announcement was that 49% foreign direct investment will be allowed in the defense manufacturing sector, up from 26%. This will induce more foreign companies to invest in India's defense manufacturing. It is also good news for domestic private sector players such as Mahindra and Mahindra Defense, Tata Power SED, or the Kalyani Group's defense arm, which manufactures field guns and similar equipment, that in turn is healthy for India's defense procurement, which is dominated by either public sector undertakings or by foreign contractors. This, combined with the upgrade plan for soldiers and the modernization of the army, means well for Indian manufacturers who stand to benefit. A policy of integrating border policy in some ways with defense needs to also evident in the enhanced allocation of 990 crore, a substantial sum for the socio-economic development of villages along the border. This may mean economic improvement of those communities residing there. The 150 crore earmarked for marine police stations, jetties, and purchase of patrol boats holds out a similar indication. While modern warfare is mostly about improved technology, it is also important to ensure that the morale of the troops remains high. The decision to erect a war memorial and set up a defense museum will definitely raise the morale of the armed forces. It will certainly be a welcome addition to the Amar Jawan Jyoti at New Delhi's India Gate. Again, the one rank, one pension scheme accepted earlier by the government has been given a budgetary allocation of 1000 crore. In the recent years, India has leaped miles forward in the field of tidying up its security. Stop. Please join the Telegram group in the comment section for the PDF.